Family goes, oh, na, na, na. Oh, na, na, na.
Purchase your
Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to the life. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh, oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, beautiful people.
Yes, we're back. This is episode 3. And I know some of you guys in the comment said, we won't believe that you guys are back into the 3rd episode, but we are back.
No, it's the 6th episode.
No, you said 6, but in the comments they said 3rd.
I did not read that comment.
Oh, well, I seen it.
You're not telling the truth.
And I also got to apologize for last week. The video was a day late. The audio came out on time. And the reason being, I know some of you could be like, I told you. No, what happened was we inserted a lot of the clips so you can actually see the things that we're talking about with Peyton and our family. And it just took a little longer than usual. S. Dot, our camera guy, if you don't know, he's not living in Jersey. He lives in Florida. So we have to fly him up every podcast. And sometimes it's difficult to get things to him, but we're back on track.
Yes.
All right. And I want to start off by saying, salute to all the dance dads and dance moms out there. If you haven't heard any of the podcasts, our kids are in competitive dance. And it's nothing like I've seen before. You know, I've had Logan who played football, Madison who played basketball, Jackson who played soccer. Nothing is like dance. You're talking 6 days a week of practice, 2-3 hours a day, sometimes 4 hours a day if they have something coming up that weekend. And then the competition start at 7 in the morning and can end at 6 p.m. at night. But it just doesn't start at 7. Gia gets these girls ready like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I mean, it's a task. I'm talking about hair, makeup, just getting them ready and prepared. Gia brings snacks like, I mean, she packs a bag of snacks, so she'll be there all day. So we're talking chips and healthy snacks and water and this and that and this and that. And of course, candy for me because I'm a candy lover. And it's a whole day worth of work. I mean, Gia packs chargers to make sure that our phones have energy. And it's a whole day of work. So salute to all the dance moms and dance dads. Now, I do want to say something.
I wanted to say one thing.
What's that?
So some people in the comments, when I posted on Instagram, let's drop our Instagrams on the screen right now, asked, like, why do the girls wear makeup?
I was just going to say the same thing. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, explain why the girls have to wear makeup.
So they compete in group dances. So they're part of dance teams, but they also have their own solo routines. But as it pertains to their group dances, the entire group not only has on makeup, but has on the exact makeup. So the same shade of eyeshadow, same shade of blush, same shade of lipstick. And the reason is because they're on stage. And when you're sitting in the audience, it's kind of hard for their faces to appear. It's kind of hard to discern their faces. So they wear makeup for their stage presence. So when they do their solos, they do the same thing, but it's eyeshadow, blush, eyeliner, and or mascara, lipstick. And that's pretty much it. So it's not because any dance mom wants their daughters to be grown. It's just because it's par for the course.
And I want to start off the podcast. Somebody was talking to me about their kids and activities. And this is what I told them. They were telling me that their kid wanted to play sports, but the kid didn't want to play sports, and the father was forcing him. And this is exactly what I told her, and I want to, get your opinion as well. If you have children, your children should be in some activity. It does not have to be sports, and I'm going to tell you why. Of course, Madison is 22 years old. She's in NYU. Logan's in he's University of Miami. He's 20 years old. To me, sports brings something out of a kid that I think a lot of kids don't see. One, I feel like it keeps them out of trouble. If they're into the sport or into what they're doing, it doesn't have to be sports. They're consistently someplace, whether it's 2-3 hours a day. They're practicing. They're in it. They're out of the streets. They're out of the malls and hopefully out of trouble. The reason I love sports so much, especially with the dance, is they practice and they train so much that they enjoy it. And they create a friendship that they don't have at school. They create a friendship that these girls support each other. These girls watch each other as they dance. They watch their competitions. And when each of these girls are finished, they're at the side of the stage to congratulate them. I've seen it when Logan did wrestling. I've seen it when Logan did football. And so if you do have kids, you should definitely get your kids into something. It doesn't have to be football, the things that all the dads want. Football, basketball, baseball, or soccer. It doesn't have to be that. just something to keep your kids motivated and moving. I know the person I'm talking about, the kid likes tech. So I'm like, find something with tech, whether it's computers, whether it's gaming, whatever it may be, building programs where he enjoys it. Because I feel like a lot of times, what's that phrase they say? An idle mind is an idle something.
I don't know.
Okay, well, keep them busy. That's basically what I'm saying.
I've heard it though. I know what you're talking about.
Keep those kids busy. Put them in. It doesn't matter what it is. Put them in something because it might keep them out of trouble.
That, and then they also get to demonstrate commitment. They understand what it is to be committed to something and to be responsible for something, especially if they're a part of a group activity, because you have to show up for that team. It can't be like, oh, I don't feel like going today. You play that position or you support that role or fill in the blank, but it does get them in the habit of respecting their commitment.
Absolutely. And this weekend, my girls pretty much compete every weekend, every other weekend. And this weekend, London won first place. Well, they actually both won first place. Brooklyn won first place in her age group. London won in her age group. And they won first place before. And I'm not bragging, but they have. I'm bragging.
And our top scoring intermediate 7-8 solo goes to entry number 98, Fabulous.
Hey!
Congratulations, you were fabulous. Tell everybody your name. Brooklyn. Did you lose those teeth recently?
Yeah.
When?
When I lost yesterday.
Yesterday? Oh my gosh, well your smile on that stage was so big. Did the tooth fairy come?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you. And who choreographed this dance?
Miss Julia.
And tell everybody where the top score dance is. What studio?
Try body.
Congratulations. And take a big bow. And your top score in intermediate 9-10 solo goes to entry number 115, The Locomotion.
Lundy Joe!
Congratulations. Tell everybody your name.
London.
And London, who choreographed this piece?
Miss Julia.
Congratulations. It was so fun to watch. And tell everybody where you dance. What studio?
Try body.
Congratulations. Dancers, you can all look out to the front.
But the dope thing, and which made me so proud about this weekend, is London had a malfunction. So in London's dance piece, she has, what is it?
It is a stick that gets inserted diagonally across her bun in the back. So you remember like when we were younger, there used to be a style where, you would do a bun and then you'd put the chopsticks kind of crisscrossing your bun.
Yep.
So just imagine one of those.
Right. So in part of the routine, and I would say maybe 60%, 70% through it,
Right.
she pulls out the chopstick and uses the chopstick as part of her
It's
routine.
more. It's like she uses it as a conductor stick.
Right. Yeah, it's a prop, but she gets busy with it and she goes to the music and then she throws it at the end of it. And it's like the grand finale closing.
Yeah.
This time when she did one of her moves before it, the chopstick went flying. So now this is her grand closing where I told you 30, 40% is using this chopstick.
No. Oh, yes, 30, 40%.
So she didn't have it. So she had to use her finger. And at the end of it, like she throws it and she couldn't throw it. So she had to pretty much
like simulate
it.
Yeah.
But this was the first time she's ever did it because it has never happened before. To the point where after I told Gia, I said, you better go back there and get it because I know she's crying. Because I knew like this is like these girls compete. She wasn't crying. She was upset that she lost the chopstick, but she wasn't crying. So Gia asked me, what place do you think she got? I was like maybe third or fourth.
Yeah.
I was like, she didn't win this one. And our girls are very competitive. She actually won. And what I realized is I know her routine. So I know the chopstick. I know when she's about to throw it.
Dance Dad over here, he'll be in the audience, we're watching, and he's like doing the moves. Or he'd be like, here's the part. Or this is my favorite part. And then he'd be like,
Yeah, because I'm into it. Like I watch her practice. So what I realized is that I see the dance routine and I see the mistakes, but she did it so well that those judges who never seen the dance routine didn't even know that chopstick was part of the routine.
Right.
And she came in first place.
Because she used her finger instead. Yeah.
So if you see the video that I posted on my Instagram or
Oh, you posted a video?
Yeah. I posted it. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what did you post?
The video of oh no, I didn't post it. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, I did post it of her winning.
Oh, of her winning.
Yeah, that's
I posted it.
Yeah, we both
we
posted
posted it together. Oh,
So
I
if
thought
you
you
see
meant
it-
that you posted the routine.
No.
Go ahead.
So if you see it, Gia's like, what? Like
Oh,
she's really
yeah.
shocked
I
and
was
surprised
shocked
because we
that
really
she-
didn't think she was gonna
yeah.
win.
Uh-huh.
And poor London was like, well, why did mom say what like that? I'm like,
Oh, did she say?
I was like, 'cause we didn't
It's
think he was
not
gonna win.
because she didn't deserve it. I just thought that she would be penalized, possibly, for a prop malfunction.
Correct.
So I said, there may be some points. And some of these, like first and second place, can be decided by 1 point.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? So I thought that might have cost her. But as it turns out, I don't even think that they realized that it was a prop malfunction because she recovered so well.
Right. So that's the commitment that we talk about. She's always practicing. She's always in the basement. She's always around this house flipping, and both of them are. So that's what I wanted to talk about, commitment and making sure your kids are in something, whatever it is, swimming, dance, wrestling, tech, gaming.
Or it can even be like volunteer work.
It doesn't matter. Put them in something, and don't think old school, right? Because a lot of times we think old school, like, man, gaming ain't nothing. These kids are making millions of dollars gaming, millions of dollars coding, $1 million of making YouTube videos. So if they want to do it, push them towards it and help them as much as possible. Don't think what our parents did, be like, oh, you need a job with a hat. No. If they're into it, guide them, push them, and you never know what your kids can become. Hopefully more successful than you. Like we want our kids to be more successful than us.
Yes.
Now let's jump into something I wanted to talk about.
Is it the thing?
Yeah, of course, yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, good. I'm dying to. Okay, so I am dying to know what this topic is because we were out to dinner about a week and a half ago. And we were just having casual conversation like we usually do. And he almost started this other conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped himself. And he was like, nah, I'm going to save it for the podcast. I said, why are you going to save it for the podcast? You just started. Like, continue. He said, no, I think we should just save it for the podcast. I said, well, at least tell me something. Like, tell me at least like what topic it's on or whatever it was. Like, now you've piqued my interest. He said, no. I said, okay, well, give me a hint. He shut me down. So every couple of days, I'm like, you're going to tell me what we're going to talk about on the podcast? So now apparently it's time.
Right. So are we saying names or no names?
I don't know what we're talking about. How am I going to tell you whether we should say names or not?
We're going to say names. We're going to say names.
Hold on. Wait. I don't think that's right.
No. We're going to say names.
Are these people that we know?
Yeah.
That you're using as an example? You're using a story, something that happened to them? We can't use their names.
We're going to use names. And second of all, Mercedes, who's behind the camera, shut up. That's all I'm going to say. Shut up. Because I tried to go to her as
he
my...
means kindly be quiet.
No, I mean, shut up. Like, so if you don't know, Mercedes
Is this about Mercedes?
No, it's not about Mercedes. Stop asking some questions. So Mercedes, if you don't know, is my assistant. But she's also a sister. So I ask her questions and advice sometimes. And like, it's funny, sometimes we have real conversations.
That's very incestuous. Because how can she be your sister and your work wife at the same time?
I said assistant and sister. I didn't say work wife.
I said work wife.
The other day, when I was having a conversation with Mercedes, I'm like, Mercedes, I'm taking you to human resources. She goes, I am human resources. But anyway.
Yes.
So if you don't know, Gia and I have a different relationship than most couples. And like we always say, whatever works for you works. We talk about everything, discuss everything from finances to stresses to whatever it may be. And sometimes I think it's too much.
You think it's too much?
Sometimes.
Are you going to explain that?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I was saying.
I'm hearing about this for the first time, so I'm literally like interested.
So one night, Gia and I are in bed. We just put the kids to sleep and we're laying in bed. And she's like, babe, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what's up? So we're each other's baller alerts, right? We're each other's shade rooms. Like we discuss different things, whatever's going on, we talk. So
he puts me up on game. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
Any of my friends, if you tell me something, Gia knows. I'm just going to tell you from the door. If I say I'm not going to tell, 99% of the time, Gia knows.
You going to tell.
So Gia comes in. She was like, babe, I got to tell you something. I'm like, oh, what's up? So, we get in the bed. We always lay in the bed naked. So we butt ass naked, covers up, and we sit there talking. She was like, I got to put you on to something that's crazy. I'm like, what's up?
Is that what I said? I said, I got to put you on to something that's crazy. I don't think I said that, but it's okay. I got to put you on to something that's crazy. That doesn't even sound like me, but he's just being dramatic. Go ahead.
All right. So tell him what Choker told you.
Who?
Choker.
I don't know what you're talking about. What did Choker tell me?
What did Choker tell you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What did Choker tell you to order?
You approved this? You approved this? He told me that you knew what we were going to be talking about today. You approved this?
So let me tell you.
Come on.
So let me tell you.
I don't want to talk about this.
No. We talked about this because it made me feel away.
Did it make you feel away?
Yes.
But you brought it up like in a humorous way on the last podcast, like it was all good.
No, that was before that.
Please explain.
So Choka, who was a family friend, she was like, babe, I got to tell you what Choka told me about that I ordered.
I can't believe you are putting me on Front Street like
so
this.
Choka, who is told Gia about this new device that I guess the sex store sells, right?
Amazon.
It's the Rose, the new version, the 2024 version. Who knew that there's different versions? So the Roses are like Hondas. Every couple of years, they upgrade and change it up a little bit.
No, I don't think that there's not one company that sells the Rose. It's multiple different companies that have their own version of the Rose. Because if you Google it, there'll be about 20 different roses that come up. You just have to choose the one that's right for you.
So a sex toy is not a problem in a relationship. We don't have a problem in a relationship with a sex toy. My problem, which I calmed down a lot, was the way she described this sex toy, right? It's not like, hey, babe, I got a sex toy and it's great. She was like, babe, let me tell you about this sex toy that Choka told me about. She was like...
That might have sounded more like it. That sounded more like me.
She was like, I was using it and I had to stop. My body was doing all types of things that my body just don't do. Like, it got to the point where I just had to put this thing to the side and be like, whoa. Like, my body was shaking, my legs was shaking,
okay.
my eyes was rolling back, my hands was shaking,
Wow.
my knees was shaking, my fingernails was shaking. I'm sitting there like, fuck me then. No, not really, fuck me, but like...
Apparently I couldn't at the time.
She'll never say, babe, you killed her last night. My knees were shaking, my fingernails were shaking. I'm like, fuck her and this Rose at the time. So I felt away. So
Did you feel away?
And she didn't even stop. She kept going. She was like, and babe, and then, now she's describing what the Rose does. The Rose like sticks out the tongue and sucks at the same time. It goes.
I didn't do all of that.
Right?
I didn't do all that. So that means that you Googled it to see what it does. Me. I did not tell you that. And I definitely didn't do my face like what you just did. That did not happen.
Right.
That means you Googled it.
I didn't Google it.
You did.
No, you told me. You told me that the Rose sticks out the tongue
I did
and
not
sucks
do that
at the same time.
because you look just like the little animation that they show. Yeah, that's exactly what the little animation looks like. Girls, am I right? Didn't he look just like the little animation?
So I felt the way. I was like, damn, that's fucked up. Because I felt like she was bragging on this sexual toy more than she brags on me.
Who am I going to brag to you about? Benz, have I ever called you up and said, yo, let me tell you what Raashaun did last night?
No, but
I don't tell my friends about things like that.
So before we
I tell you.
Before we go into the conversation. So
did I not text you this morning?
And what happened last night?
No, hold on.
Last night my fucking neck hurts because I'm trying to go. I'm trying to be the fucking Rose.
Something got into you last night.
She calls
That's what this is about.
She calls me this morning. She was like, oh my gosh, last night was different because I'm trying to be a fucking Rose. I woke up late. My neck hurts. I couldn't breathe. I almost died.
You. Oh my God.
That was me last night trying to be the fucking Rose.
You were good. I texted him this morning like, babe, that's what I said. What got into you?
So,
I mean, you're always amazing, but you definitely put in some extra work.
So I try to call my assistant, right? But I can't tell my assistant what the conversation's about because that's a human resources offense. So she says, what do y'all want to talk about on the podcast today? I'm like, let me tell you. I'm like, the Rose. She's like, that's old. I'm like, what? She's like, I've been had the Rose. We've been talking about the Rose.
Because she had been telling me that I needed to get one for quite some time. Blame her.
Well, hold on. So then I'm like, I felt a way that, Gia was talking about this Rose. She was like, you can't do what the Rose can do. No guy can. And I felt worse.
You felt worse. Oh my gosh, I love you. You felt worse. Why? Well, it's a mechanism.
Yeah, but
You really felt? Are you being honest?
I
right
did
now?
feel the way when you first started talking about that shit. I was like,
You were very silent.
I was because I felt the way. I didn't know how to take it. Because we talk about everything, but
Raashaun, like not for nothing. Like I've had a vibrator for
yeah, but you don't talk
at
about
least 29 years.
So just imagine I come home and
not
I'm
the same one.
like,
but-
babe, this device called the Guacker 3000.
The guacker.
The Guacker 3000. When I used it last night, baby, I shot out my ass. Like you'd be like, the fuck?
I'd be like, get some wipes. It was
Like the Guacker.
cue the baby wipes.
The Guacker 3000 went crazy. My legs were shaking. Oh my gosh, it was something I never felt before. You wouldn't feel away?
No, I'd be happy for you.
Well,
Personally, I'd be happy for you.
I wasn't
Like,
happy
that's
for you.
Great.
When's the last time you seen the rose? Hasn't been around, huh?
It's a little extreme for me.
Well, I took it, but go ahead. Why is it extreme for you? Fuck that rose.
Nah, for me, it's a little extreme.
Yeah.
The version that I have, it's I feel like it's a little too powerful. It's a little too powerful. Like I need like a break from it. Do you feel that way about yours?
Mercedes said, no, I don't feel that way. It got to the point, and this
I
is
don't know what version Mercedes has, but the version that Chilka put me up on, it's a little much.
but it's to the point where this might be a little TMI, but
Hold on.
I had to see it in action.
This is TMI.
All right, but one night I pulled that shit out. I was like, let me see, let me see all the shit that.
I did the one-legged
You did
butterfly.
So, but let me ask you a question. So, one thing people would say is, what is a sex toy's place in a relationship, right? Why would somebody need a sex toy if they have their spouse? So let me ask you, Mrs. Rosie Perez.
You travel a lot. And you've described me on past podcasts as overly sexual.
Facts. What?
I mean, sometimes I feel like a dude, like the appetite is a little, So you're not here a lot. So the times when you're not here, I use it. And then sometimes the times that you're here, I'll use it with you. And we enjoy that together.
Yeah.
You've never felt a way before. Hell, you've gone and pulled it out. Like, let's have fun.
Yeah, but sometimes it's fun. But the way that you were talking about it and describing it.
So you want me to enjoy it but not talk about it?
I almost felt
you want
like.
me to enjoy it but not tell you how good it is?
No. I'm over it now. But at first it
Why
almost.
are you over it now?
What
got you over it?
I don't know. It just, I guess the first time you started talking about it, what made me feel? It felt like the rose was a person and you were describing the person. That's what was on my mind. I'm serious. That's what, I don't know if there's any men out there that watch the podcast that feel the same way, but she was describing how it was affecting her. I automatically was like, the rose's name is so-and-so. And oh my gosh, it's making her feel that way. And at first it was like, what the fuck? But I was a little off at first.
That's so interesting to me. But can you tell me, it's a thing. It's not a person.
I know.
And you know that.
Right, but it makes you feel like something. It's not like that robot makes you robotically know.
Okay, but not for nothing. And I'm going to try to admit as much TMI as I possibly can, but I mean, and we're together.
I mean, I know.
Like, you know what it is.
I know, but still.
Right? So.
But now when
I wouldn't even, you know what? I'm so secure in what happens between us that I wouldn't have even thought for a second that you would have been affected by that. Because, like, what's a little stupid toy when I have you?
It got to the point where I travel a lot. And
I'm expressive.
Right?
I'm expressive about how I feel about you and how I feel about our intimacy. Hold on. Am I not?
You are.
Hold on. Put your hand down. I'm trying. No, hold on.
I just want to
hold on.
I just want to tell the TSA workers, if you see me with a rose in my bag, it's not mine. I'm actually taking it from home so she don't use it. So if you open up my bag and you see a rose, it's not mine. But go ahead.
I think
it's mine actually, but
but I think that I put you on a pedestal. Do I not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when we converse, I put you on a pedestal. Like I let you know what it is.
Yes.
And I don't even have to let you know. Like you're there. You see what it is. So with that taken into consideration, I would never think that you would feel some type of way based on a toy.
I did for a moment, and that's why I wanted to have this conversation, because there has to be people out there, or dudes out there, or women out there that might feel the same way. Because when you first said it and you started describing it, instead of listening to you, I was kind of mad. I was getting mad at first, like, what the fuck?
Mad at me or mad at the situation?
The situation. I was.
You were mad at me?
Yeah, and I was gonna delete Choker's name from your phone. But like, why the fuck Choker calling you, telling you about a goddamn rose? Choker, go get your old man.
Why? Okay. All right. So moving forward, how would you advise me to communicate with you?
No.
Should I delete things like that? So now I'm thinking like what's actually happening in my
Right.
thought process is if there's something that's true, real, and actual that's going on with me, should I not feel as free and as open to talk to you about it? Because we talk about everything, you know?
No.
So
And-
should I not feel because then I would have to be concerned about like, damn, I need to protect his feelings. I have to make sure that it's not something that might send him over the edge. Because that
No.
was just me speaking to you with no filter. But now I feel like maybe I should filter some things. Maybe I should.
No, and that's the reason why I didn't want to talk to you. Tell you, because I don't want you to filter something. I realized that it was my insecurity and me, and not actually our conversation. Because I want to have a conversation when
Insecurity, you're like Mr. Mandingo. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
I would have never, ever thought.
not an insecurity, but I just didn't like it. It just didn't sit well with me, and I don't want you to ever change what you said, because I'm fine with it now. But at first, the first reaction was like, "What?" And then I got over it. It was cool. But when I thought about it, I started thinking, and I think everything for the podcast. So I'm like, damn, I wonder if other brothers feel the same way. If other men who are watching this feel the same way when their wife talks about a sex toy, or when their wife grabs the sex toy. You know, I just wondered that, because when you first said it, it was like, huh? But then after a while, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But when you first started to describe it, it made me feel the way.
Mhm.
And I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. And I would have told you it felt the way that night, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather discuss on the podcast, because I wanted to get your normal reaction, to have a conversation. And that's what you do if you just tune in. Like, we have these normal conversations. A lot of this is not planned. It's things that she brought up or things that I brought up. But at first, I did think that was kind of crazy.
So for clarification, you don't have any problem with the toy as long as it's in your mind not something that you can't provide me with.
No, I can never, like Mercedes said, I can't be a rose. I can't do that.
Okay.
But and I don't have a problem with it. But when you first saw it, sometimes you got to sit back and think about things that doesn't make you feel away. And it doesn't make me feel away. But when you first said it, it was like a weird feeling at first. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. And
I
I
guess
just wanted to have a conversation.
in hindsight, I do think that maybe I did notice that.
Did you?
Now that I'm thinking back, yeah, you just weren't, you didn't ask questions. Like when someone is being a good listener or an active listener, you can always tell by the cues,
Mhm.
you know, like they lean in or they ask questions or their facial expressions and things like that. You didn't really ask many questions, if any. You didn't seem into what I was saying. I might have written it off as preoccupation. Maybe I
Mhm.
thought you were preoccupied with something else.
Right. But I
Because
do.
sometimes you do detach
Mhm.
because you have so many things on your mind. And I used to get upset about it, but now I'm like, okay, now I know that. I know what's going on. So that's what I thought that it was. I didn't think that there was an issue.
But I do want you to know that I'm fine with it now, and I don't mind playing with it in bed. But I just wanted to have that conversation.
So you don't mind any of the other toys. It was this particular toy because of how I described it.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Well, I want to get into, before we get to the email of the week, I want to get into another topic that I didn't like. Trying to think, should we talk about it now or next podcast?
No, we're going to talk about it now because don't do that.
All right, we'll talk about it. Better
Now.
say next one, but we can talk about it now.
Do you know what this one's about too?
No, she doesn't know what this one's about.
Oh, okay.
So, I travel a lot. Took a couple of months off because we were moving into the house, and now I'm back on the road. Last weekend I was in Alabama. Shout out to all the students at Alabama State University. I did the barrister ball in Detroit recently, which was dope. 3,000 attorneys in Detroit had such an amazing time. So salute to you guys. I'm actually going to the Lovers and Friends concert coming up shortly to DJ. So I'm on the road a lot. And when I'm on the road, it's the perfect time for the kids to cuddle with mommy, right? They jump in mommy's bed, they take daddy's spot, and the kids love it.
We have
They love sleeping out.
sleepovers.
Yeah, they love the sleepovers.
I actually, when we were furnishing the house, I designed a bed
Mhm.
that was conducive to that. So the bed has like a super huge platform right after the foot is. There's like a 6-foot platform where they could all pile in and, cuddle up together if Raashaun doesn't want, like if I want to have a sleepover when we're in the room. So we can have our space on the main part of the bed, and then there's a platform for them as well.
Absolutely. So the other day when I was out of town and I came back, Gia was talking to me on the phone, talking about the kids. And, I was saying, we were talking about Peyton. And I was like, Peyton just really just is not scared of anybody. It doesn't matter what you say to Peyton. She does not care. And Gia told me that all the kids said that they're scared of you, that they fear you. And I'm like, why do they fear me?
Uh-huh.
Why?
All of the kids except Brooklyn and Pepe.
Brooklyn and Pepe are the only 2 kids that say, no, I don't have a fear for daddy. And those are the 2 kids that probably boss me around the most. Definitely Peyton. Definitely Brooklyn, too. Brooklyn just does what she wants to do. If I say, Brooklyn, pick it up, she'd be like, yeah, I'll pick it up in 20 minutes. Give me a second, Dad. But, so why do the kids fear me? Because I don't pop them.
No.
I don't hit them.
No. You think that's the only way to instill fear? By being abusive?
And threatening them, and I don't threaten them. So, let me ask you a question. So why do the kids fear Dad?
Madison fears you. I don't know that Logan fears you.
Logan just thinks I'm crazy, but no.
Logan thinks that you're crazy, but I don't think that he fears you. But Madison, London, and Jackson have a fear. And not as much London as the other 2. None of the kids like to ask you for anything. They do not, if they want anything, and it could be a popsicle, they're going to ask Mom. And to be honest with you, I don't really know why. I do think part of it has to do with the fact that when you're upset or when you're disappointed, there's a component to your personality that shows up that is off-putting. That's the best way that I can describe it. I can't imitate you, but it's the way that you talk. It's what you say. It's the expression on your face. And it'll make someone feel as though they want to avoid that. Or if they're in that realm, they want to remove themselves from that realm. So it's better to not even enter that realm than to get there and have to do with it. We were joking when they told me, and it was like, you know what Dad will say? And I'm like, I already know. Like, come here. Let me ask you a question. That's what it is. And then you're going to ask them a question that you already know the answer to.
Correct.
To get them to explain themselves. And the whole time that they're explaining themselves, they don't know why. They don't know that they did anything wrong, but there's trepidation while they're doing it. And then they have to wait until they're done for you to explain why that was a problem or what it was that you didn't like about it. So it's like you take them through a journey. You don't just get to the point. You'll call them. The way that you call them is even intimidating. Jackson was like, yeah, I'll be playing my games and he'll call me. I'm like, and then I run downstairs and I'm like, all 30 steps. I'm thinking to myself, what did I do? I did this yesterday. I did that yesterday. I did this today. I did that today. What did I do last month? What did I do last year? What could he possibly be going to be asking me? Like, let me ask you a question about, and it could be nothing. You could be like, hey, babe, you want some lemonade? I just made some fresh lemonade. It could be anything. But Madison, forget about it. And it's funny. It's almost contradictory because you and Madison are best friends.
Hey, Jax. Go upstairs.
Oh, hey, Jax.
We're talking, so go upstairs.
Did you hear your name? Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Beat it, kiddo.
Bye-bye.
It's okay. Bye. Bye. Hey, Choo-Choo.
They just got home from school.
Kids just got home from school.
Hey,
boo-boo.
Go ahead.
I love you too, baby.
We love you too.
We love you too, baby.
Bye, guys. Bye. Go in your room. Don't listen. Get out of here.
What was the last thing that I said?
You were saying that last thing I remember, he ran down the 30 steps.
Madison. I was saying that the two of you are so tight. It's like you're besties, but it's like you're her bestie that, she knows how to tread lightly when it's time to tread lightly, So she doesn't want to ask you like, hey, Dad, I need an excessive amount of money to get my color done. or hey, dad, X, Y, and Z happened. I need this. Or she doesn't really like to ask unless it's something simple and repetitive. You just instill that even other people, like when they talk to you, like some people get to stuttering around you. And I think that you have, the way that I would best describe it is I think that you have the potential to have an intimidating way about you.
I can see that. But well, this is what when you told me that, I said I have to change that as a dad because I don't want my kids to fear me. I was fearful of my dad growing up.
Your dad did that on purpose, though.
But yeah, my dad did that on purpose.
That was part of his.
That's who he is as a person, though. He's just all like that. He's changed in his older age, but before he's just a mean grouch when it comes to things.
But your dad and I have spoken about that, and we've actually gotten into arguments about it because this is about Brooklyn 7. This might have been about 4 years ago, where my father-in-law is very critical. He's a very critical man. And he does have an intimidating presence. He's a retired New York police detective. And he carries himself with a presence that people around him are instantly intimidated as soon as he walks into a room. So he and I would say, butt heads for our entire marriage. Because I think that I may be the only, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be the only person in the family that isn't intimidated by him.
I think so.
Or that will challenge him. Like he'll say something in a group conversation or discussion. And if I disagree, I may say it. And then we get into our own conversation. And it's always cool and respectful and whatnot, but we tend to disagree a lot. And we got into a conversation one day where he told me that he thought that he doesn't believe that your children should ever be your friends. And I understood where he was coming from, and I let him know that. But I said, there's degrees, there's levels, there's boundaries, there's understandings that have to be had for a relationship between a parent and a child to approach friendship. I don't think that every parent can be friends, quote unquote, with every child. But if certain things are achieved in the relationship, then I think that that's a path that the relationship can take, but with boundaries. So Madison will say, Dad's my best friend and Mom's my best friend. So according to her, she has 2 best friends. We have different relationships with her. We each have our own separate relationship with Madison. But then again, nor my friends. I'm a very funny person with the way that someone interacts with me, the way that someone treats me, the way that someone speaks to me. My red button is disrespect from anyone. So it's not just from a child, but I will be the nicest, kindest, most thoughtful, considerate, and loving person until I get to the point where I feel like I'm being disrespected. So Madison understands we are friends, but you can never curse in my presence unless I give you permission to, in a case where she might be telling me a story of something that happened or telling me exactly what somebody else said. And she'll say, permission to curse. And I'll say, okay, yes, permission to curse. And okay. So there's that. There's the respect. Madison, she can never raise her voice nor look at me crazy. Because when you're talking to someone and they can disrespect you by the way that they look at you.
Right.
They can roll their eyes. They can do things of that nature. That's a hard no. But at the same time, like I said, I wouldn't expect a friend of mine to do that either, as I would never do that to a friend. So there are boundaries. Yes, we are friends. You can communicate with me freely. Tell me all your business. I will give you everything that I have to give as a mother and as a friend. But there are lines that can't be crossed. And the same thing with Logan, and the same thing with all of my children. So yes, we are friends, because we have friendly conversations and friendly interactions. And I will do things for you that a friend will do that maybe your typical mother may not do.
Mhm.
And we are cool because, especially with Madison and Logan, we are younger parents. We had them at 22 and 23 and then 24 and 25. So we're young parents. So realistically, Madison could be my younger sister because there's a similar age difference between me and Madison that there is between Madison and Peyton. So I can treat her like a friend and like a daughter. I know how to fuse both of them together seamlessly so that the relationship is always exactly what I want it to be. I tried to explain this to my father-in-law, but he wasn't really trying to hear me because he's an older person that's set in his ways.
Right.
And he said that your children not only have to respect you, but they must fear you. And I said, I don't want my children to fear me. I personally do not believe that that's a good approach. I don't feel as though that communicates to my children what I want to be communicated to them.
But let me say this, though, and I get what you're saying. My problem was with, and why I feel like they feel this way, right? So as a parent, you give your kids chores, right? And you give them chores because you want them to do something and you want them to learn respect. You want them to learn that to earn what you have and things are not just giving to you.
To make sure that they're not entitled.
Not entitled.
Yes.
And they do their share of what they have to do in this family and in this house.
Yes.
So, for instance, Jackson's chore is he has to fill up the fridge. Every day.
One of his chores.
One of his chores. Every day he has to fill up the fridge, whether it's water, sodas, juice, whatever it may be. He has to fill up the fridge to make sure. And we have a lot of people that live in this house. We have, of course, 6 kids. We have a nanny, Madison's boyfriend. Mercedes always comes here for some food, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right?
And we just always have friends in and out of the house.
We always have people. So
yes.
If I'm traveling over the weekend and I get home Sunday afternoon, right? And all I want is a soda, a nice cold soda with ice, and I open up the fridge and it's not there, I'm like, I asked this little, excuse my French, I asked Jackson to do one thing, fill up the fridge.
And then you know what'll happen? He'll be like, Jackson! Jackson will come downstairs. He'll come down those 30 stairs and be like, hey, Jax.
What did I ask you to do?
Nope. I'll be, let me ask you a question. And then Jax will know, like, damn, I didn't fill up the, like, I asked you to fill up the fridge yesterday. I come home after a weekend, working hard. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. All I want is a Coke, and I want to fill up a red plastic cup with ice and sit down and enjoy my drink. But I can't do that, Jax. You know why? Because you didn't do your chore. And now daddy's parched and daddy's thirsty and daddy just wants to know why the bleep his son didn't fill up the fridge like he's supposed to. That's exactly how that conversation would go. Am I lying?
No, but
was one syllable wrong?
No, I would have cursed a lot more. But am I wrong for that?
That was worthy of only one F-bomb.
Right. But am I wrong for that? No, because I ask you to do one thing. Every week when you want your chore, your allowance. For the
and then we'll go into this. Yes.
Every week when you want your fucking Roblox allowance, it's mom, can I have $19.95? Can I use your face? $9.99? And you get your Roblox skin. All I want is my soda, my nigga. That's all I want. That's just it. That's it. Brooklyn. I come out the garage and your sneakers are out there. I trip and I almost die. Can I ask you a question? Brooklyn? You like daddy being here?
You see? Do you see why they feel the way that they feel?
You like daddy being here? Do you want to kill daddy? Because, I'm about to die. What do you mean? I asked you 1,000 times, don't put your shoes by the steps where I can fall at night and kill myself. Move your effing things.
No, you don't curse at the girls. No, you don't curse at the girls. Right. He might let a little cursey poo go when it comes to the boys, but you don't curse at the girls.
Or if I'm doing something, I might say, London or Brooklyn, can you watch the baby for a second? Daddy has to go take out the trash. Or I need you to watch the baby for 20 minutes. Daddy's cooking. Or I need you to watch the baby for something. Daddy needs to take a quick shower. And if you give me the...
Oh yeah, no, you can't do that in this house.
What?
You can't be asked to do something and go...
Because if that's the case...
Like if you sigh You might as well have just cursed me out.
Because if that's the case, I sigh every time I got to take your ass to dance.
Yeah.
You go to dance
And
every
you've done
day.
that.
I pick
Do
you up.
I sigh when it's 7:00 p.m. and I just got home from work and I got to get up and come pick you up from dance practice? Do I sigh? That is you.
Do I sigh when you want bacon in the morning? Do I sigh when you want a burger? Do I sigh when Dad, can you take me to so-and-so's house when I just want to watch the Knicks play tonight? Do I sigh when my Giants is on, but you got a game and I got to pick between the Giants and you? No. I enjoy doing it because you're my child. So if I ask you to do something,
you to do something, yep.
Do it. And I feel the same thing with Maddie. Hey, Maddie, I need a favor. What's up? Hey, I have to break down 30 boxes in the garage. I ain't got no sons here. Logan's in Miami, so you're the only son I got. Don't sigh, because when you say, Dad, I need this. Dad, I need that.
Dad, I need for my expensive color to get done.
Which is fucking ridiculous. That shit don't make no fucking sense. I'm about to go to hair school. Like, the bills I be getting from Madison for her fucking hair is ridiculous. What is that, carotene or dye or what is all that shit called?
We can move past it.
Whatever that fucking shit is called. Shit is fucking expensive. And then a woman's maintenance. Madison costs more than her mom. Like Madison don't play. Madison getting her nails done every 4 or 5 days. I don't care.
No.
How long?
She gets her nails done maybe every 12, 13 days. Just short of every 2 weeks.
That's a goddamn
maybe.
lie. She's always getting her nails done, always getting her toes done. Madison is, when I say, she costs more than her mom. Like, it's crazy.
She definitely
Madison got to get her facial wash and moisturizer and mask. And then Madison has to live where everything smells good. So she has all types of candles. So what do I do with Madison?
Madison is a true consumer.
Yeah, Madison. The consumer with daddy money. A consumer, like, to the point where every time in Madison, she doesn't turn off her lights in the room. So every time I go in Madison's room and she doesn't turn off her lights, I steal something. Am I lying?
No.
I steal something. I steal a candle. I steal some spray.
She busted into the room the other day, talking about, what's my candle in here? We laid in the bed, the candle's going. She's like, that's my kid.
I steal her hoodies, because her hoodies, she wears, because nowadays these girls are wearing extra large stuff. She'd be like, Dad, you got my hoodie on. So if you'd have turned off your lights, I wouldn't have been in your room. But that's not enough to be fearful. That's just.
Let me ask you a question. So you said that about Madison, but yes, her maintenance is high.
Yes.
Because Madison is very much about how she carries herself.
Correct.
And I love that.
Yes.
And I love that about her. I'm glad that she's that way.
Reminds me of you when you were younger. You still like that now, but she's like, when you were younger, you were times 30, and that's Madison right now.
Yes. But don't you think that she deserves everything?
She does.
She deserves.
Madison is the perfect daughter. She's the perfect daughter. She makes sure that this house is held down when we're not here. She helps out with her siblings. She goes over and beyond. So Madison is the perfect daughter. I wouldn't trade. I get on her a lot because Daddy's not going to I'll probably take care of Madison until I die. But because that's my baby.
If you had to. I mean,
regardless of not. I don't care if she makes $10 million a year. I'll take care of my daughter. Like, I'll take care of my baby. I love my babies. But
say what you want. But Raashaun's dream is to buy all of our kids a house on the same block that we live. Or he's hypothetically talked about buying a compound so that each one of our kids can have a house on the compound so that we can all live together until the day that we die.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it because those houses in Texas that they be posting that look like super duper mansions for $200,000. I'm about to buy.
Get a mansion.
I'm about to buy Peyton 1, Brooklyn, Jackson.
But that would
London,
require us moving to Texas.
Logan, Madison, Mercedes.
But that would require us moving to Texas.
My mother and dad. And I'm gonna have the whole block, and they probably hate me. They'll probably kick me out. But I just think that's dope to have all y'all living on the same block to be able to go back and forth and get sugar and this. Like, I love that idea. I love my kids being here. I love my kids so much, but I don't want to be hard on them.
The last podcast, you were trying to put them out of their rooms.
I was joking, but no, I wasn't. They got to turn the lights off. But I will say this: I just don't want them to ever be fearful. And I understand that I could be harsh sometimes.
You're harsh.
I am.
You can be harsh.
I am. But I'm harsh because I want them.
But it's also balanced by the love. You're very, very loving and
yes.
very, 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 very affectionate. So you're not just that. That's one characteristic of yours
So how,
that was being discussed,
so how
but
can I
you
be
balance
nicer?
it.
So let's talk about
No, you are
results.
nicer.
But let's talk about results. If they're feeling a way, how can daddy pull off the mask, take down the ego and pride, and be in a way that our kids won't be fearful? Because I never want to be fearful. I never want to be like, well, they fear me, what it is. I want to make sure that I stop them from feeling that way. But they still have to be respectful. They still have to listen. They still have to do their part of the house.
Mhm.
But
They still have to be able to be in a position where they deserve everything that they get.
so how would you say that daddy is nicer?
Like I said, I think that you're nice. I think that when there is an issue, the way that you go about handling the issue is intimidating. Like, for instance, let's really, if you want to talk about it, let's really talk about it.
Yeah,
You grew up being very, very, very scared of your dad,
correct.
right? And why were you scared of your dad?
Because that nigga crazy. To this day. It's like, but I respect it. And I think our kids know too, that if I have a problem right now, my dad has a cane now. He uses it, not all the time, but he uses a cane. He pulling up with the cane. Cane in the left hand, his gun in the right hand. What's up? What's up? Where we going? What we gotta do? That's my dad. But my
Right.
kids know the same thing. They know when they call me, daddy's on go.
Yes, but why were you fearful of your dad? So he was crazy, but now put that into words. Like, explain what it was about him and his approach that made you fear him.
He was very standoffish, but never hit me. But very standoffish, very mean looking when he was upset, and what he said was law. There was no going back and forth with anything like that. It's what he said was law.
Okay, you're not like that.
Mm-mm.
Like, the kids can have a conversation with you if you're upset about something. I still think that they can talk to you about it. So it's not that you're not communicative. I think that, you know what the biggest thing is? They don't want to ask you for anything.
And you know what the crazy part is, and this is gonna sound so
it's
crazy.
crazy because you're the most generous person.
But you know what it is, and this is gonna sound so bad, and I'm sorry, all my parents out there, especially the dads. You know what it is?
What?
I don't like to listen to this shit.
Wait, what?
I don't like to listen to this shit.
I know what you're talking about.
One of our kids could come in a room and you can have a 3-hour conversation about Mandy, one of their classmates, about some bullshit that happened in class. And after the first 3 minutes, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I know you looked at me and it sounds horrible, but they're sitting there and then Mandy did this dance move and then I did this one. And I'd be like, what do I say? What would my answer be?
Oh, word? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now, besides that, I'd be like, fuck Mandy, let's keep it moving, right?
Oh, well, if someone did something to offend
That's
them.
me immediately. Fuck Mandy, let's keep it moving. But that's me because it's like a lot
You
of
don't
times
have you don't have much patience.
I don't have patience
And
enough
you
for small
have-
talk.
Yes. And you don't even have a reasonable attention span.
I know.
You don't have a reasonable attention span.
The other day, Madison
Like,
was
people, someone got to tap dance to keep
Yeah.
your opinion, to
The other
keep your attention.
The other day, Madison was like, "Oh my gosh, I had such a crazy day," and this, that. And I'm thinking to myself, "You had a crazy day. What's crazy to you? It rained. Oh my gosh, you didn't have an umbrella. So crazy. Oh,
You know, and you're judgmental.
that's what I thought. But now here's mom. Oh my gosh, you didn't have an umbrella in the rain with your heels on cobblestone. Oh my gosh, girl, I would have been so this. This is me, my nigga. You know the Knicks are playing right now. Carry sneakers in your car for next time. Carry an umbrella. Let's keep it moving. That's me.
Yes, well, you know what? You're not very conversation driven. You're more solution driven.
Gia goes like this. Hold on, one more
Like,
thing.
let's wrap it up.
Gia's like
What's
this.
the answer?
Gia puts the phone in the bra like this,
Oh, yeah.
and then she walk around for hours with the phone in the bra talking to herself. And I'm like,
Talking to myself.
well, I mean, somebody on speakerphone, but it looks like you're talking to yourself. But I just can't do that. I'm solution based. I don't want to play.
Yeah. Well, I think the answer is we use the example of Madison and her hair, and she's going to come to me to ask me, right? I think that maybe in about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, she might need a service.
Mhm.
I think you can go to her and say, "Hey, babe, I didn't see a charge recently on my credit card for, your hair. Do you need to go get your hair done anytime soon?" Do you know what I mean? She'll be like, "What?" Maybe go to them and offer the things that you can anticipate that they will be asking for, or just their needs. Maybe not even something that, because then I think you kind of need to train them. And you know what? I know the answer. I'm bugging.
What?
I'm bugging.
What?
You know, it just clicked to me. The reason why they feel that way is because you're cheap. That's the reason. And you're the only person that I know that can be so generous and so cheap at the exact same time. So most of the things that they're talking about, asking you for, would require some type of monetary participation on your part. And they don't want to even get into that conversation because when it comes to asking them asking you for something that you have to spend money on, that's where they feel reserved. That's where they have that reservation. They don't want to ask you. So maybe you need to prove that you're not so cheap.
I'm a work.
Right? Hold on. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, baby, right. But I think I'm going to work on being nicer. I'm going to work on listening more. I'm going to work on being the parent
more.
that they're not fearful of. Because I don't want them to fear me. I want them to feel like they can have conversations with the same conversations they can have with mom is the same conversation they can have with dad.
Ever gonna happen.
Like,
don't shoot so high, like that's just too high. Don't shoot that high.
As far as the cheap conversation, that ain't gonna happen. Like eggs went up 80%, so fuck all that.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Orange juice up 30%, like nah. Gas is up another, nah.
And I do, and you did mention it, and this is a big conversation that you and I have to have even more of outside of this podcast, but you really do have to be a better listener because it's really terrible.
Yeah.
And I think that you hurt people's feelings.
Right.
And I'm used to you, and I got over it a really long time ago, but your listening skills are terrible. They are your listening skills. Not only are they just terrible, they're borderline insulting. Like, oh, really? So
all right, I heard what you said. You said it. You said it.
Mercedes of that. Mm-hmm.
You heard what you said. All right, well, guys.
Church fan.
Okay.
Like,
it's time to go. It's time to go.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Yes.
No, we have to do emails.
We'll do emails next week. We already have 60 minutes, so we'll do emails.
We're at 60 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh dang! They holding up the rap.
So for everybody with emails, we got about 20, 30 emails. We'll do emails next week because we got a lot of good ones that relate to just life. So we'll talk to you guys next time. And if you have an email or you got a question, thekcrew@gmail.com, theekcrew@gmail.com. I want to salute to our sponsors, Monster Energy. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Shout out to Jason and the whole fam over there. Also, Lincoln Tech. If you're looking for a school that's not a typical school, a trade school, they do everything from automotive, electrical, HVAC, welding, and all that. So definitely look at Lincoln Tech and salute to my family at Lincoln Tech. What's up, Tina? All right. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe out there. And remember, love is the key.
And because I love you so much, I'm going to throw that rose in the trash. Because I don't need no little rose. I just need you. Yes.
That's a goddamn lie. We'll see you next week. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
That was another edition of the KC Crew.
Toodles.